Well, let's talk about handling 0 and handling negative numbers as exponents. All right? We're going to run into those situations. We're going to have a 0 as an exponent. We're going to have a negative number, and we need to know how to handle. Here's the first thing we want to basically understand. Anything to the 0 power is 1. 5 to the 0 power is 1. 7 to the 0 power is 1. 12 million to the 0 power is 1. 4 trillion to the 0 power is 1. And so anytime you do a subtraction with the quotient rule and you get a 0, in essence what we're saying is those variables have canceled out. Y to the 0 power is 1. All right? So that's how you handle 0 as an exponent. It makes this 5 disappear, it makes this 7 disappear, it makes the y disappear, and it just leaves you with a 1 in its place. Not an 11, a 1. All right? So that's all I'm going to say about 0 exponents. We may hit it here again in a second, but let's focus the rest of our time in this video on negative exponents. All right? And here's an example. If we do the quotient rule right here, it tells us to go 6 minus 8. But 6 minus 8 is negative 2. And so we have x equals negative 2. We've got a negative exponent. And unfortunately, the math police, or the people who made up the math rules, they want all of your answers with positive exponents. So we need to know how to turn this negative exponent positive. All right? And I'm going to tell you the rule in a second, but I kind of want to look at this same problem a different way. Let's look at x to the 6th divided by x to the 8th. Let's expand those x's. X to the 6th means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 x's. X to the 8th means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 x's. And we can go right down the line. These two x's cancel each other out. These cancel each other out. Cancel, 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 cancel. And remember, when they cancel out, they just leave 1s in where they were. And so now the only thing I have on the top is 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 times 1, which is 1. And what's left on the bottom? Well, just these two x's. X times x is x squared. Hey, wait a second. I think I'm seeing something. I think I know what this negative sign is trying to tell me. It's trying to tell me that there's two x's left here, but they're not in the top. They're in the bottom of the fraction. And that's what a negative exponent really means. It means, hey, if I'm in the top, take me to the bottom and I'll become positive. If I'm in the bottom, take me to the top and I'll become positive. So turn a negative exponent positive, you just flip it. Negative exponents become positive when you flip them. X to the negative a equals 1 over x to the a. Okay? That's what happens. This negative sign disappears when I took this whole, the base and the power, down to the denominator. Okay? That's the whole deal with negative. So then, well, what do we do with 3 to the negative 3rd power? Well, it's in the top of the fraction, isn't it? If I put it over 1, so I need that 3 to the negative 3rd to go down to the bottom, and then what happens to the negative 3? It becomes positive. And then I could actually do 3 to the 3rd power. That's 27. 3 times 3 times 3. And there's my answer, 1 over 27. Well, what about right here? I've got two bases. They're both in the top of the fraction, right? How many of them have a negative exponent? Well, this is not a negative exponent. That's a positive one. But this is a negative exponent. So I need that y to go downstairs or down to the bottom of the fraction. What should I do with the x squared? I should keep it where it's at because it didn't have a negative exponent. And so that becomes x squared over y cubed. All right? Or, here we've got 3 variables involved. Oh man, x squared over x. Well, that should be x to the 2 minus 1 power, right? I got to do, and that's a 1, it's 2 minus 1. Y to the 5th over y to the 5th. That's y to the 5 minus 5. Something's going to happen there. And this is z to the 1st. So that's going to be z to the 1 minus 4 power. Wait a second. That's an x up there. What's y to the 0 power? It's gone. It leaves us with a 1. And what's z? That's going to be a z to the negative 3rd, but I don't want it there. I've got to write it in the denominator, and it becomes positive 3. So I took this part downstairs, down to the bottom of the fraction, and the negative exponent became positive. All right? I hope that helps you with these things. Good luck.